Alright folks, this video is going to be continuing the How to Ride series, and this is going to be braking because I've already showed you how to get into first, and now I figured before I show you shifting, I'll show you braking, just to kind of make sure you can stop. But here we go, we're going to crank it up. Alright, and now you've already learned getting in the friction zone, getting into first. Alright, and as of right now, you're just going all over the place in first gear, not knowing what the hell to do. Well, I'm going to show you. And here is what you do. That's how easy braking is. And hopefully you're not going to be doing it that fast. So, basically with braking, there's a lot of stuff you need to take into consideration. Like right now, all this gravel that's on the ground, that will make braking very difficult. So if you're practicing this for the first time, do not practice in gravel if you have any other way to practice. But what you got to do is you got to be getting up to speed. And I pointed the camera down a little bit so that you can see the controls a little bit better. What you want to do is you want to let off the gas, pull in the clutch, and squeeze the brake. Now whenever I say squeeze the brake, what I'm doing is I'm applying the rear brake and the front brake at the same time. And I'm not slamming down on it. You know, you're not trying to get into an emergency braking situation, you're just trying to stop. See? And you basically, what you want to do is let the speed of the bike be your guide on how hard you want to brake. And see, if you're just going slow like this, just a light tap on both the brakes, and you've stopped. And one thing you need to do is whenever you stop, you need to make sure that you go ahead and put your foot down. And I try to always stop with just my shifter foot so that my brake foot is still on the brake until I've come to a complete stop. And then after that you can go ahead and set it on the ground if you prefer to. But one thing I'm going to show you is whenever you're applying the front brake, what you want to do is just give it, don't just slam it, just give it a firm squeeze. And basically what you're doing is whenever you're squeezing the front brake, you're just slowly getting on like that. You're not just coming like that where you're just easing onto it. And the same thing whenever you're pushing down the back brake. And it's going to come very easy to you once you figure it out. Another thing I'm going to show you is braking on gravel. You want to take every precaution in the world you can, because if you're braking on gravel and it gets away from you, you will lay the bike down. See, like on a turn, I'm not even hitting the brake in the gravel. But most of the time what I do in a turn is if you're turning and you hit the front brake alone, you're probably going down on the bike. So what you want to do is you want to just hit the back brake a little harder than you normally would. You know, don't slam on it, just be a little bit more firm with it and feather that front brake. And that's going to be especially helpful whenever you're on a curvy road or something. And one way I learned how to brake better is like go to a parking lot that has these lines in it. And what I did was I simply got right up on the line and I went ahead and coasted to the next line, and I went ahead and got in the gear, put my foot on the brake, and stopped it. See, just, you want to stop at every single line until you get it right. And whenever you're doing this, if you want to, one thing you can do is always keep your foot on the right peg. And just like that. Now I'm going to take the camera off and see if I can show you exactly what I'm doing. Alright, well that's a little short tutorial on braking and a few little tips for you. I'll probably get into it a little bit more later on once we get a little bit more advanced in the How to Ride series. But for right now, I think I covered it pretty well for you. So, that is part 3 of the How to Ride series with the Glock 17 shooter. Signing out, reminding you guys, ride safe.